Hello, my beautiful crafty friends. Welcome back to Always Forever Creations. And if you are new, welcome. Please be sure to subscribe so we can hang out again. I'm doing something a little bit different in this video. I have a tutorial, dare I say. I'm not a teacher. I strive to inspire and motivate and just be a friend that's here to craft with you 24/7. But I had this idea kind of last year. I was gonna make these like rainy day pouches to hold some money as Christmas gifts for like the nieces and nephews and cousins. You know, all those people that aren't like actually here with you celebrating Christmas. It never came to be, but I took it a little step further. And these are going to be Christmas gifts, but they could be great if you do envelope budgeting. These could be an option, and you can make it as simple or as pretty as you want. But I think here's where I have it a little different than where most people go when they make things like this. Oh, I lost there it is. Okay, you can label it and you can erase your label. So this is a dry erase marker. I don't use envelopes to budget, but clothes could be a category, and then you can erase it. Now, if you don't want that rubbing off so easily, you can use a Sharpie so it stays put, and to get that off, you can use a dry erase marker to scrape it off. See that? Or hand sanitizer is a good option. I had to find paper towel. Oh, okay. You don't need that much hand sanitizer. You don't want to get it on your paper. But anyway, just a little drop of hand sanitizer will take that label off too. Okay, so that's what we're making. Don't I demo gracefully? I also might pop in while I'm editing to clarify myself, because I know I'm not good at talking and explaining things, and yeah, so I might just need some extra help. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, so yeah, this is one I made. I had a little prototype here. So this was just some lightweight scrapbook paper. I put tracing paper over it because I wanted like a crinkly element to it. I like that it kind of mats up the pattern a little bit. Just gonna start pulling some things out that I'm gonna need. I have 2 more to make. These are going to be Christmas gifts, but I want them to be like everyday type designs, not like Christmas designs. So, and then when I give this, I'll label it like family outing type thing. Because these are going to some people that are just having some difficult times right now, and they don't have like extra money to go do the fun and extra things. So this way they'll be able to go either to a movie or go have a dinner as a family out and about. So that is what we're gonna do. I did use some dies. These rectangle-y ones from Waffle Flower. Nesting rounded rectangles die. That's what I used. Use 2 sizes of those. Okay. So I think I'm just gonna make one for the video. I'm gonna use this paper. I did coffee dye and I put some spray on the back because why not? Now, I need to make sure when I cut off, I cut this off. I don't want that. Maybe I'm gonna work this way, I think. Okay, so first cut, I need 3.5. It only took me 3 pieces of copy paper to get this right. It took some trial and error. Okay, 3.5 by 6 3/4, and this is our front panel of the pocket. 6 3/4. Yes, so what I did is these sides turn in and then this panel sits on top like that. So that's that piece. And then this one is 4.5 by 9 3/4, and then this one needs some scoring. 4.5. It's so nerve-wracking that I'm gonna get this wrong. I have more paper, I just don't want to coffee dye it. Guess we'll use this spray part. I sprayed these with oxide while they were wet. That's why there's a lot of wicking on it. While they were wet with the coffee dye. 9 3/4. Okay, now we score. And I'm gonna score 1/2 inch on 3 sides. The 2 long sides and 1 short side. It does matter which 3 sides you score 1/2 inch on. Okay. And then for the flap, I scored at 7.5 inches from the bottom. From the top, I don't know what it ends up being. Let's see. Use the ruler. It's like 2 1/8. Yeah, it should be. Maybe it's 2 1/4. I'm going 7.5 inches from the bottom. That's how I figured this out, so. And I figured that out because this sits on the bottom part of the envelope, so that's what I was judging this by. So 7.5. Okay. And I believe that's all the cutting and scoring with the trimmer. So I'll set that to the side. Now I need my scissors, which I have hid from myself. I literally just had them. I was holding them in my hands. How are you all doing? I hope all is well. Okay, so going to cut the corner off up to this corner where the scores meet to get rid of the bulk. See, I don't think I'm close enough on this one. This is kind of hard to do. I don't know why I have such a hard time with this. Okay. And then on these, did angle, so this will be the top of the pocket because this is the fold over flap. So I did kind of miter this a little bit. And then I just cut straight up along the score line to get rid of this piece because we don't need that. And then same on the other side, just cutting in that score line. And then just a little angle cut. Okay, and now I'm going to round the corners. Okay. Oh, we weren't done with the paper trimmer. I have to do that all again with tracing paper. You don't need the tracing paper. I like how it looks. I like how it feels. I like the crinkliness. But on the tracing paper, I did not cut these, the flaps. And I will hopefully explain that better. Okay. Get a sip of coffee. Okay, I'm gonna do the same-ish thing. I'm gonna start with 3.5. I'm gonna try to get a cleaner edge corner. There we go. 3.5 by 6 3/4, so that one's the same. And this will just lay on top of here, and I did sew it, and I will sew this one too. And this one, I'm gonna cut it at 4, not 4.5, right? Yes. Just kidding. I'm gonna cut it at 3.5 again. Sorry. This part's not necessary. This is just extra for my liking. But you don't need this for the structure of the envelope. Okay, so 3.5 by 9 1/4, right? Because here we only need to take off a 1/2 inch, not a full inch at the bottom. Yes, 9 1/4. I hope so. Yes, that's right. Okay. And then this should fit right in there, and it does. Yay. Okay, I'm gonna take these over to my sewing machine and sew around. Okay, so I'm gonna sew all around this piece, around the edge, and then on this one here, let me open this up. I did not open that up and show you guys. And this will fit a $1 bill size. I don't know about other currencies, I'm sorry. For this piece, I sewed around the body here, and then I sewed around the flap separately. So I have 2 lines just on either side of the score line here. So that is what I'm going to do, and I will be right back. Alrighty, my sewing got away from me a little bit on the top here. But this is what it looks like. I got some more rippling on this one, so it's nice and crinkly. Okay, so now we're gonna cut our little window for our label. And I'm using, I don't know what size this is. Two and an eighth-ish by 3 1/4, 3 3/8 ish. Now, one thing I also want to mention on mine, I can see the brad that holds this piece in. If you don't want that, maybe make this window a little smaller or turn it this way. That's up to you. I don't mind it. It's not bothering me all that much, so I am just going to continue on and eyeball center this. I am so disorganized. I might have to become an organizing channel to get organized. Alrighty, we have our hole. Now I'm going to sew around the pocket here, otherwise there's going to be separation between the tracing paper and the scrapbook paper. You can glue it if you want to, put some sticky tape in there, up to you. Okay, I am struggling really hard to sew on this one. I'm not entirely sure, but my guess is that this flower paper is significantly thinner than the paper I used for this one, and it was easier to maneuver around because it was a little bit stiffer. So maybe a thicker scrapbook paper is better. Not like super thick. You don't want like hard stock, just a little bit heavier. Make it easier to work with. That's only if you're sewing though. If you're not sewing, I don't think it will matter. But I'm okay with the handmade look of it because it's handmade. Alrighty, I'm going to cut now the window, or the label piece that we write on, a piece of plastic. And I'm using a slightly larger die than I did for the window so I can tape it in on the back. And this is what I used for the window piece. You could also use like a sheet protector. That would work just fine. My friend took me to this fancy art store. She gave me a gift card for, and I picked this up, and it's like a film. It's just sheets of film. My die would not cut this out, so here's the sandwich I made for this. My block here, a magic mat, newspaper, my film, then my die, and the top piece, and I had to run it through a few times to get it to cut the plastic. If you're using a sheet protector, I think it would be easier to get through that. This is, I don't want to say it's thick, but it's durable, I guess. These are cut cleanly through. This is still hanging in there somehow. Yeah, durable, like I said. Okay, got that out. What's nice is you can clean this. Next, I know you can't probably, yeah, you can see it. I'm gonna put some sticky tape along the edge I don't know if glue will hold this very well. I would recommend a double-sided tape. Glue might hold, it'll take a minute. I think it might also depend on the glue. And just putting this along the edge. I was working on Halloween journals, but this popped into my head and I had to act on it. I'm in a bad habit of not finishing projects right now, which was my whole goal for 2024, was to finish some unfinished projects. And now I'm like leaving myself more to do. Alrighty, get this in. And it doesn't have to be centered or anything. You just don't want your tape to be seen on the sides. And press it down. Pretty. Okay, so now, before we glue this down, we need to place our wheels. What are they called? The buttons for the wind-up closure. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? I'm sure they have a name. I don't know what that name is. Okay, I'm gonna put that here. I'm gonna use my ruler to center things up. And was 1 3/4 inches on each side. Pencil. Here we go. And just gonna mark where center is, and then I'll figure out the heights and whatnot later. Okay, we need some circly bits. Okay, using this big crocodile, going to use the 1/8 inch hole and poke it somewhere towards the center. Gonna do 2. And then take my 1-inch hole punch and center that hole in the 1-inch hole punch as best as possible. And I'm just eyeballing it. This one. Okay, and then to give them more structure, because this paper definitely needs it, some cardstock. Out of the way for the moment. And then I'm gonna glue the scrapbook paper down to the cardstock. And then we'll repunch the holes all the way through the cardstock. Okay, brads. Well, we don't really need these yet, but I'll grab them. Just gonna use these the same color. Whoa, I cannot tell. In this light, they're not. Okay. I just dropped that whole container on the ground. Thankfully, it did not pop open, but it scared me. Okay. Alrighty, now we can see where we want these. Right there. And then I'm gonna mark where to poke the hole. And where was that center? I'm gonna put it a little bit lower. All right, and that's where we're gonna punch our holes. Sorry, did I go through that too quickly? I don't know if you can see it. I made a pencil mark through the hole. That's where I'm gonna punch with the crocodile. Okay. And now we can place these with the brads. And you don't want them too tight on there because you want the twine or thread or whatever you use to be able to wrap around it. Okay, and that one I just leave like that. This one I am gonna put some tape over just so when you're sliding in money or whatever else you decide to put in here, it doesn't snag on it. Okay. Grab just a piece of masking tape. Okay. And now we can glue this on. Where is my score line? Okay. My laundry's done. Okay, I'm gonna put glue on the flaps here. I might make a whole bunch of these in like a more neutral color. This could be good for ephemera. Like if you want to label some ephemera. And then if you empty it and put new ephemera in there, you just change the label. Okay, it is not that difficult to put this on. Why am I making it difficult? Here we go. Glue down. Oh, the crinkliness. I glued it down upside down. Don't do that. I am glad I caught that. Okay, we're good. Now that's right. Isn't that so cute? Oh, I just love it. I love the crinkliness. That's probably not everyone's thing, but I love it. Okay. I honestly don't know what kind of twine I have. Like, the only nice thin twine I have is the one I have on here, and I don't know that goes. I guess I can use embroidery floss. That would be the next best thing, I think. Use this deep purple. Not really sure. Okay. I'm gonna double knot it. And if you want, you can pop some glue on that knot so it stays for the embroidery floss at least, because sometimes it likes to unravel. I don't know. Actually, I've never had that issue, but I hear people say that. So, so I'm repeating what other people say, but I've never had an issue with them, with the knots coming undone. So let me know if that's something that you have experienced. Okay. What I will do is, once I get this wrapped around how I want it, enough times, cut it. I will knot this end because this is 6 strands put together, 6 strands of thread woven together, and those easily come apart. But I've never had an issue with the knots coming apart. Okay, there we go. It is done. Oh, this one you don't see the brad. You see the tape a little bit, but not the brad. I did push this pocket too low. I don't want to say too low, but lower than I did this one, but only by a little bit. I don't know. Okay, anyway, these are done. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you would store in here. And I love that you can label it and clean the label off. I just think that is nifty, and I have not seen that. But let me know if you have seen that. Okay. That is it for today's video. I hope you feel inspired and motivated and you get some good crafting time in today. I am going to be saving these for a Christmas gift, but I don't know, I might make more, like to keep different colored labels in, and then maybe like can make them into a book somehow, or just store them in a nice little box, and then you can just shuffle through. Lots of ideas are coming in my head, sorry. But yes, if you like budget with envelopes, this is great, because then you can change the label on the envelope. Yeah, anyway, I'm sorry, I will stop. Thank you again. Please hit that subscribe button. Let's get together again soon.